The burnt aggro?
Who were some of your biggest influences to either make music, or like who inspires you?
Well, it's probably a different list. If you want to know what producers inspired me to start making beats, that's a different list than some of like my favorite, like just artists and rappers in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because rappers didn't necessarily inspire me to do beats. It was the different beat makers that I have just listened to over the years. And it wasn't really until I would say 2001, like right around the time I was graduating, when I started actually thinking about making beats. And that was because I was hearing guys like Dilla, High Tech. I think Kanye and dropped that H to the Izzo beat for Jay-Z in 2001. And I was like, I think I want to make soulful beats like that, you know? And then Ninth Wonder came out like maybe a year or two later, and I really started patterning myself and learning where and how they chop their samples, so I can not necessarily copy it, but just learn how to do it and then make it my own in the process. So like, especially in college, I would take like beat CDs from like Alchemist, Kanye, Dilla, Madlib, High Tech, like all these different people. And I would just, when I'm studying, I'd pop in my headphones and just study the beats while I'm studying my notes or whatever, you know, learning where guys were chopping stuff, how they were implementing their own bass lines, or what drums they were using, what drum patterns, and, you know, just learning what's a good sample and what's a bad sample. Because when I initially started, I was just so desperate to do it. I would take anything and just try to chop it up and flip it and turn it into whatever. But as I grew and got, well, in my opinion, I got better, I would pick better things to sample that fit the way I wanted to craft my sounds. So like, not every sample is created equal for every style, in my opinion. So I think it's important that you tune your ear to the style that you want to make until you really get good. And then you can go back and be like, all right, I'm going to tackle this now because I'm so much better with my skills. I know I can flip this and make it dope too. So I got to that point too, maybe 3 or 4 years in, where I was like, all right, I think I can do this now because I have the fundamental skills and I've built the tool set to be able to tackle whatever I want to tackle and make something out of it, but make it my own, make it creative, and just, you know, just vibe with it, you know?
Got you. How many times has this happened where you sampled something and come to find out that somebody else sampled it and made it a big track?
Too many times to count. There's things that I've sampled like in 2006 that I hear somebody else made a beat to, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, their beat's dope. I still like mine better. Or one of the other things I used to do to challenge myself too was, once I found a particular artist sampled a song and they made a dope beat, I'd be like, all right, you did that, I'm gonna flip this too and see how it turns out, and just challenge myself to make something totally different from you, make it my own, and make it dope in my opinion. So, I mean, I think that's a good thing to do for producers. You always got to challenge yourself. You know, you always got to look to improve your craft. And that was one of my favorite things to do. Was I would get like a CD or I would get like a list of songs and then the sample list. And then I would go seek out those songs, and then I would try to flip them my own way. And for me, it was fun. I actually did a couple of beat tapes based on that. So like my Wonderful Tunes series, the reason why I named it Wonderful Tunes is because they were all sampled by Ninth Wonder, and I flipped them my way to try to challenge myself.
Are those still available online somewhere?
Yeah, my Bandcamp is still up. I mean, it's been up.
Plug it, man. I want, because I've always been a fan of your work. You know, you were at that point where like that was the wave back then, like the soul sample beats and the sped up chipmunk sound. You know, everybody was doing that. You know, like the heat makers from Dipset, man, they took that shit and did it on a big scale, you know.
That was the wave for a long time, you know, and you know, it's for me, it kind of started with Kanye and him just coining the, well, I don't know if he coined the phrase soul beats, but that's where I got it from, and that was my thing, you know.
If you want to plug like where your stuff is at right now, since we're in the moment, like go ahead.
The Bandcamp is uncannymusic.bandcamp.com, and everything on there is based on donations, so you can either get it for free or you can donate. I mean, if you're gonna buy it, every couple, like one Friday a month since the pandemic happened, they waive all the fees that they take from it. So if you actually want me to see some money from it, wait for one of those days. Maybe I'll come back on another Friday when it's, or I can find out when the next Friday is, and I'll plug it that way too next time I'm on.
Got you. Yeah. So everybody that's listening right now, check out my man Uncanny.
Uncannymusic.bandcamp.com. I have a search function too, so just search up Uncanny and make sure it's the one from Pomona, and you're good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have a few people in my mind that, you know, follow my YouTube channel and stuff that would be interested because they're into like beat making and music, you know, so they would.
This concludes our Danse Macabre.